Welcome, you dirty batters, to the Inglorious Batters podcast. Obviously, this is not a live show, but we as bastards of the community have decided to have a weekly segment, no matter if we don't have a show on our off weeks, to show off what streamers would be the best pickups. Because last week we discovered that it was actually a fun little competition that we all three had on who would be the best at picking these streamers. I'm going to be posting the leaderboards here shortly, but I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. Jordan Maroney, of course, had the best streamer week. Rob came in with a close second though, and then Adam, you had a phenomenal week. It seems like, isn't that the truth?
That was a rough one. That's all right. We live to fight another day, though. I was in the positives, so could have been worse.
Right. And so as I said before, we're going to be discussing for the streamers for tomorrow. If you don't know what a streamer is, if you're new to fantasy baseball, it's where you go gun ho and you cut some people and you pick up pitchers that can make or break your matchup. You can get lucky, like yesterday, if somebody were to get Drew Smiley in like 70% of the leagues because he's available in 70% of the leagues, you would have gotten a solid 59 points from him. But then also, streaming can also bite you in the butt, and you can pick up like last week, for example, when I picked up Brito, he gave me negative 29 points. So it can make or break your week. What do you guys think of streamers? We'll start with you, Rob. What do you think of streamers?
I personally, I'm not a huge fan of streaming. I don't stream a lot of pitchers. It doesn't make sense when it comes to my strategy. With the relievers first mentality. So streaming pitchers isn't necessarily something that I really enjoy doing. But I know some of the most successful leagues or teams that our league's ever seen stream heavily, like rely on it as their main pitcher points for that week. So,
yeah. I mean, Rob, I'm kind of with you. I'm not saying I don't ever stream pitchers, but when I find myself in a position where I'm streaming most of the time, it's like, okay, I've got one of my starters on the IL, so I've had to fill him with basically a waiver wire, and we know how the waiver wire is. So it's a lot of times I just have, if I am streaming, I just have like a revolving door in one roster spot until someone gets healthy and I can get back onto the kind of my normal rotation. But but again, though, streamers, and we're so early in the season where, if you do lose, it's not, season ending, but we'll get closer and closer to the point of the season where you're like, all right, man, I need to start stacking wins. So,
yeah. Do you guys have anybody you're streaming today?
I do not.
I don't either.
I have Wade Miley versus Boston.
That's a good pick, I think.
A very solid outing last week, and I'm hoping that he can keep that up. My week this week is going pretty good. The downside to it, I'm facing a juggernaut who decided to just pop off to Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm falling from behind. I'm scoring. I'm in top 4 and scoring right now. I'm in top 4, and I'm getting beat by like 130. So,
man,
it's tough. Adam has the easiest week I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah, this has been great because I've not had to stress at all. And part of that, I feel like, part of that is why I'm like not in the streamer frame of mind, because no offense, Jordan, last week was pretty easy too for me, but It's just I've jumped out to such big leads where I haven't had to worry about streamers, and I'm like,
And
man,
that's
this
the
is
plus
great.
side. That's the plus side about not needing to worry about streamers. I know for a fact that Shane right now is not worried about streaming. I am. I have some people in the woodworks right now. How about yourself, Rob? Uh, do you think you're in a position to start streaming for tomorrow?
Probably. I'm down quite a bit right now. But my pitching, dude, my starting pitching that I have like drafted, and they're not horrible pitchers. None of them are positive for the last 30 days. None of them.
Yeah.
So I'm getting screwed there. So like I feel like I need to start streaming pitchers and maybe abandon my strategy. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, with that being said, let's start off with our two streamers. We decided to go anything less, and correct me if I'm wrong, based off of the ESPN rostering. We decided to do any pitcher that's below 25%. If they're below 25%, then we are able to connect to a wider range of audiences because they'll more likely be on their waiver list. So with that being said, Adam, would you like to start off?
Sure. Yeah, man. So my waiver wire my streamer pick has gotten a little messed up here because so here's the thing. This is gonna be homerish because my picks are homer this week on the streamer side of things because Cleveland Guardians fans. So there's your spoiler. But what I will say is I'm super excited for some of these young prospects to be coming up in particular on the starting pitching side because what Cleveland's been able to do, I mean, they've become a little bit of a pitching factory. I mean, and then when you think of how many pitchers they've dealt away, Trevor Bauer, Corey Kluber, Mike Clevenger, Carlos Carrasco. Yeah, Kubler. I mean, and then have just reloaded with homegrown talent when you look at their entire rotation, even today with Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie, Zach Plesac, Aaron Savali. Those are all guys they've drafted. So my pick got a little messed up, but I think this is something worth looking at because Peyton Battenfield was going to be a
damn it.
He was going to be pitching tomorrow, but because they were rained out in Detroit, they've now pushed him back to where he's not starting. I don't think he's actually going to start until Monday.
Oh, I see right here because I was going to say him. I didn't know if he was, and it says that he was supposed to be pitching tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I think the app is actually wrong. He's not pitching until Monday.
Got it.
He's not pitching until Monday, but that is still a good pickup because now you get 2 starts out of him for next week. But Peyton Battenfield is a guy who has had a couple of pretty nice starts here. He's been on a little bit of a shorter leash with his pitch count, but he's been able to build that up over his last 2 starts. So I think he's going to be one worth picking up. But the other guy, actually the one I am going to stream, is another guy that the Guardians are calling up, Logan Allen. This kid is a lefty that he's another guy that they drafted in the second round. He's one of the kind of the trend picks that they've done. The Guardians, when it comes to the early rounds, they're heavy on starting pitching when they draft them, and a lot of them are college kids. They don't really do the high school route, which I love because they're a little easier to project. They have a little bit of a faster track to the big leagues, but Logan Allen in the minors, let me just tell you this. He's got a .720 win percentage, and this is over the course of 3 seasons in the minors. 258 innings pitched in the minors, 340 strikeouts. So he is a strikeout machine. And to the 340 strikeouts, only 82 walks. So that's over almost a 5 strikeout per walk ratio. So this is a guy, they're going up against the Marlins, and the Marlins are pitching Jesus Luzardo. So and Jesus Luzardo's had a pretty good year, so it's going to be a tough matchup there. But it is the Marlins. I think the Marlins are better, but it's somebody I think he can maybe handle. So that's kind of one of my picks. So what about you guys?
So are you gonna or is Battle wait, what's his
Peyton Battenfield?
Battenfield, is he your other streamer?
Well, no, because he's not going until Monday.
Okay. So
I can tell you my other guy real quick, and I don't have it won't be a lengthy thing to say on him, but the other pick I'm going to go with is actually Chris Flexen. He's looked like absolute dog shit this year, pitching to an 0-3 record with, almost an 8 ERA. But I did watch him hit in his last start against Milwaukee. He had a rough start to that game where I think he gave up 3 out of the 4 runs in the first inning, but then he ended up going 6 innings, only ended up giving up 6 hits. Really settled in. He had some pretty good stuff. So they are going against the Cardinals, I believe. So that's my second pick.
All right. And it looks like Logan Allen and Chris Flexen are both rostered in 1% of the leagues. So the odds that they're available are pretty high. Rob, would you like to go into it, or would you like me to jump into it?
You go for it, man.
Okay. So I have my 2. I have Grayson Rodriguez for Baltimore, and I also have Taylor Megill from New York. And so let me give you a rundown on Grayson real quick. He's a rookie. Obviously, his first outing didn't go as planned, but he is playing against the Detroit Tigers. And Feller yesterday pitched for the Orioles and went off. He went off yesterday, to say the least. And so I feel like this may be Grayson Rodriguez's breakout game, especially playing against the Detroit Tigers. No disrespect to the Tigers organization, but the Orioles are just a significantly better team, and they're playing at a very high level. And so when it comes down to the Orioles, I feel like he's going to get the win and probably get the QS for you. He's rostered in 22% of the leagues as of ESPN. But then also Taylor Megill, a lot of people. Okay, so he's a top 50 pitcher fantasy-wise right this moment, but is only rostered in 20% of the leagues, and he's playing against the Giants. The Giants can be you either going to get one of the best teams in baseball, Giants, or you're going to get a trash Giants team. I feel like with the team that's surrounding Taylor Megill, he'll be able to give you that win and that quality start as well. I don't think that his strikeout numbers are going to be too high. I'm probably going to say he's probably going to give you about 7 strikeouts. Still a good outing. He may give up 1 or 2 runs, but that's still good enough for the win and the quality start. Like I said, 20% of the leagues he's rostered in. I'm going to put that down in the ticker below so you can follow along, and so that can help you out as well. Well, what do you think, Rob? What do you think of those 2?
I like the Rodriguez, Grayson. I was going to pick him, but I was under the impression that it was under 20%, so I didn't pick him.
Under 20, not 25?
I prefer 25. I really do. I prefer 25%. So I was going to say Grayson Rodriguez. I think this last time out, I think he got touched up a little bit, but I think it was his first outing. He had 8 Ks. Grayson did, and then 6 Ks when he played at home against Oakland, and then 5 Ks at Texas. So he hasn't. I mean, Oakland touched him up, and Chicago touched him up. So it could go either way. I mean, he's racking up Ks, and Ks are obviously going to get you those points. So I think that I like Grayson Rodriguez. I like it. Grayson Rodriguez, yeah.
And the thing is, we can have the same streamers that is allowed. We don't have to have different. We had the same last week with Strom, and that went perfect.
Correct. Yeah. So we could play with the same ones. And then your McGill pick, I really like too. I stayed away from him this week though because I've been betting him a little bit lately, and he hasn't done as I've wanted. So just staying away from him. My streamers for the weekend. First and foremost, I'm going to go with Brian Bayo from Boston. It's taken on Milwaukee, and I mean Milwaukee's been either crushing the ball or not hitting the ball at all. I mean, they started the season off pretty lackluster in that field. So I think that it's, maybe Bayo can come through with a solid start. His last outing, he only went 2.2 innings, but he got 5 Ks. So 2 innings pitched and 5 Ks. If he can even get just 4 innings, I can, hopefully we can see another 5K day out of him. Hopefully we get 6 innings and bring it home for me. But we'll see. So Brian Bayo, he'll be the one that I would target mostly. And then this one's going to make me feel kind of gross, but Zach Greinke, I mean, he's looked like complete and utter dog shit this year, but he's got the pedigree to be able to toss up a decent game. I think they're playing the Angels this weekend. So, maybe he'll shine, on the stage with the 2 best players in the world. And I like Kansas City pitching this year. Kansas City pitchers have looked really, really good since what's his face? Matt Quintaro from their bench coach now. I know that they got him from Tampa Bay, and if they're going that way of Tampa Bay did with their pitching, I think that Kansas City pitching can be pretty fun for us for this coming season.
Yeah, man, and with Zach Greinke, the thing about him is he has so much experience and just he's so smart, and he can be crafty enough where you're like, it may not be like a ton of strikeouts, but he could easily go 6-7 innings, maybe only 3-4 hits, and it wouldn't be shocking.
No, 100%. Like Zach Greinke is still a Cy Young winner. Like you got to give him that respect still. He can control game, but as he hasn't been looking great. Obviously, he's going towards his ending years, but I feel like the Angels are a tough task. But I don't know much about Bello though. Brian, is that? I don't know much about him. Yes. We can't hear you. You're muted, I think. There we go.
My mic and everything keeps coming unplugged. I'm not sure what's going on. Brian Bayo, he's not the best pitcher in the MLB. But he's not horrible. Like I said, last outing, 2.2 innings with five strikeouts. I mean, that's
hey.
If you can limit the runs, I guess.
yeah. Whenever I hear someone say him, the only thing I think of is Tracy Morgan. I'm Brian Fellows from Saturday Night Live.
Where the heck is he? I'm trying to find him on the profile so I can put how much he's rostered in, and so I can spell his name correctly. I'm on Milwaukee pitchers. Hang on, sorry.
He's a Boston pitcher.
Oh, I thought you said Milwaukee. I don't know anything about this guy, truthfully.
I think they're playing Milwaukee this week.
Yeah,
he's rostered in 4.2% of the leagues.
Yep.
Got it.
No, it's Brayan.
Yep, he's got a goofy spelling. I think he's from Cuba, if I'm not mistaken.
Not that far into.
Not that has anything to do with the spelling of Brian, but It's
dang it, I'm not even typing. Oh goodness.
so
on.
actually maybe it's Brian Bayo. Maybe we're pronouncing it wrong.
Well, all of my stuff just got deleted on it, so we'll just go off of that. So, all right. So let's go through a head count. Adam, who did you have?
So I got Logan Allen for the Cleveland Guardians pitching tomorrow against Jesus Luzardo and the Marlins, and I've also got Chris Flexen of the Mariners pitching tomorrow against the St. Louis Cardinals.
All right, and then I have Grayson Rodriguez, and I also have Grayson Rodriguez, and I also have Taylor Migo. They're both pitching tomorrow. Grayson Rodriguez is pitching against the Tigers, and then Miguel is pitching against. Oh my goodness, I've just spaced out on who's pitching against the Giants.
Yeah.
So I have the Giants streamer. Well, facing the Giants and then facing the Tigers. I favor the Tigers a little bit more heavier than the Giants one, but those are my picks. And then your picks, Rob? You're muted again.
How am I keep getting muted?
Now you're unmuted. Go ahead.
How
don't know
do
why
I
you
keep
got
getting muted?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Zach Greinke pitching today against the Angels. Rostering 7.6% of the leagues. So hopefully that pans out there. And then I took Brian Bayo pitching tomorrow against Milwaukee, rostering 4.2% of the leagues.
All right. Those are our streamers for the week. Is there anything you guys would like to add? Obviously, we have a show coming up next Friday with a special announcement that you guys do not want to miss. Is there anything that you'd like to add for next week's podcast?
No, just yeah, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for another Friday night with the Bastards.
How about yourself, Rob?
Oh yeah, same. I'm ready for another Friday night with the Bastards and the Bastard Nation. I'll try to get better about getting picks out this week. This was my second week with the kids alone all day, so I'm just trying to get like the routines and everything down. So research has been slim to none.
No worries.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But I have nothing else to add. Just make sure you tune in next week for a fantastic episode. We're going to have a lot to discuss. We have new matchups, and we're going to be talking about previous matchups, as in like how this week ended up. Adam's winning this week is guaranteed. Rob and I aren't guaranteed a win or a loss quite yet, but we'll see how it is. With that being said, thank you and have yourself a great rest of your day.